everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos. I wanted to just do one of my little motivational chat videos because we haven't done that for a little while, so I just thought, why not, let's have a little chat. I'm going to go back to my original reason for actually starting to do this in the first place, which was about not having to be perfect. We all put so much pressure on ourselves all the time. I say this time and time again, and obviously in my shopping hauls you won't see much of that, but in my other videos and on my Instagram page I do a little bit more about that, and I do more motivational posts on there. I try and post daily, so I will link my Instagram link down in the description for this video, so take a look. But I think us parents, we put so much pressure on ourselves all the time to do everything, to have everything perfect, bring our kids up perfectly, work, everything. And sometimes things get in the way. Life, for a start, work, jobs, health, kids' health, all these things can make a massive difference. I myself suffer from quite bad health, as do my children, so I think, for me, it was years of trying to do absolutely everything for the kids all the time, trying to, be the working mum. Sorry, I'm just trying to get myself comfy here. Let's move that out of the way. Trying to be the working mum, trying to be, a really good stay-at-home mum as well, when I was doing that. Yeah, I've done my years of stay-at-home mum, I've done the working mum. My health just got worse and worse over the years, and I continued to push and push and push. I ended up getting really, really sick, and this is why I'm trying to do this, just to let everybody know, you don't have to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect, and doing your best is good enough. I wish somebody had told me that when I was younger, when my kids were younger, when I was running myself ragged on a daily basis, never having a break, never doing anything for me, ever. It's only been the last few years actually where I've started to look after myself more, trying to prioritise my own health as well, which has been really, really hard with the having four children with extra needs and health conditions, when you yourself has got the same thing. It's really, really hard, but this is what I'm trying to say. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Do the minimum things that need to be done in a day. Anything extra you can do, that's bonus, and then you take note of those bonuses. They make you feel good, and you're like, right, okay, I got this done today, and this was an extra, I got this done today, rather than the constant thinking of, oh, I didn't get this done today, or I couldn't manage this as well. And that was sort of the negative pattern I'd got myself into years ago, always worrying about what I hadn't got done. Whereas now I've sort of resigned myself to, I know there's only a few, things in a day that I'll actually will get done. Everything else, I'm like, woohoo! I feel like I've done a good job. There's so many things to think of, particularly over the COVID period where many people were homeschooling their children. Well, I was home educating mine anyway, at that point, and I have actually been doing that for many years. So there was that on top, being responsible for your children's education as well as their health, all their hospital appointments, just trying to keep on top of everything, as well as keeping on top of the housework and just everything else. I mean, you know what it's like. It doesn't matter what you have in your life, whether it's a child or two, or whether you've got 5 or 10 kids, whether you're a stay-at-home mum or a working mum or dad. This page is for everybody, whether you have children or not, whether you're a father, a mother, it's for everybody. Everybody has their own things where they're very busy, and maybe you just feel like your life is spiraling out of control a little bit. So this is for you. And my channel, I'm trying to do some easy dinners. I call them my cheats dinners. So I used to cook everything from scratch every single day, and it just got harder and harder to do, to be honest. You know, I was in and out some days. When the kids did go back to school, I was going to 4 different schools in 2 different boroughs morning, and I was literally spending 4 to 5 hours a day sitting in my car driving, and it was absolutely killing me. And then I'm like, well, when else am I supposed to get everything else done? You know, it's hard times, and that was just, you know, one part of my day. So I realised, actually, I'm just going to have to start making life easier on myself. So, you know, this is where I buy a lot of frozen ingredients to go with my... Sorry, there's so many kids around here distracting me. Sat outside a park which is next to my daughter's old school, and she wanted to see one of her friends she hasn't seen since she left. She's in there with her friends. I'm sitting right outside and I can see her, but she's 11 years old, so she's absolutely fine. I'm not allowed in the park because she won't let me in. So I'm just sitting out here. I thought I'd do a video while I'm here, just while I'm sort of keeping an eye, because I've actually got some time to myself. And this is what I mean about, like, finding time when you can. So I've just been sitting down here chilling for the last sort of 10 minutes, and I thought, well, actually, while I'm here, let's do a video. Might as well, using my time effectively. So I've got to get my car washed and then go home and cook dinner. So yeah, it's good. It's a good use of my time, let's put it that way. Otherwise, I think I'd fall asleep, to be honest. I would sit here and I would fall asleep. I'm permanently exhausted. Anybody with a chronic condition, you'll know exactly what I mean. But I think, you know, it goes for most parents as well. You know, we're all tired. I have chronic pain and fatigue on top of that. So it's a flipping hard life sometimes. So yeah, but the whole point of this was I was actually going to talk about Christmas. So I've been sitting here waffling on about everything else. So I've had lots of conversations with my own mum recently about Christmas. I've been thinking a lot about my children and Christmas. I'm a single mum. I've been sort of reassessing what I do at Christmas, energy wise, and also what I'm spending. My budget has drastically reduced over the last few months, so that is also new to me. I've got 2 children that are over 18, so there's so many changes in my Christmas plans. So last year and the year before, I didn't have a lot of people over because of COVID, so I had to do a very basic Christmas dinner, which I wasn't happy about, because for Christmas it's always about the food for me, food and family. That's what it's always about. So, you know, I was brought up with tons of food on the table. You know, there was just so much of it. Our dinner plates were huge. There was all these different meats and sides, and it was wonderful. It is my fondest memories of Christmas as a child, and that's what I wanted to recreate for mine. And I found it very hard the last couple of years having to buy more pre-made food, and just doing less so that it didn't affect me so much. That's been really, really hard. So this year I've made a Christmas plan. It's a very simple plan. I have actually made a video on that and it's uploaded if you want to check it out. And it's like, it's simple style. I've had to just make things easier. So this year I want to do things a little bit differently. I want to try and do a little bit more. But it's all going to depend how I feel at the time and what help I've got in the kitchen and trying to get things sorted, because that does make a huge difference. It really, really does, you know. But that's what I'm saying, like, we don't have to do everything ourselves. You know, you get the kids involved, you get your other half, if you've got one, involved, any family members that are around, get everybody involved. This year my mum is cooking the turkey and bringing it with her, so that's one less thing I've got to cook, one less thing to try and find space for in my oven, because I don't have a lot of space. You know, if I'm feeding anywhere between 7 and 10 people, I think, this year. You know, and we love the sides, our sides and the roast potatoes. I mean, oh my God, they're the best bit. So I do 2 trays of potatoes, and obviously they take an hour or so to cook. That takes up a lot of the oven. So I've just made a plan. I prep all the vegetables the night before. That really, really helps me time-wise, because Christmas Day, I want to spend time with my family. I want to be, you know, okay, the kids aren't little anymore. They're not, you know, opening all these toys, and we're not putting everything together and putting batteries in and things like we did years ago. They can amuse themselves, but I want to be with them. I don't want to be in the kitchen the whole day, and I don't have the energy for it. So it's a case of prepping everything you can the day before, and I'm going to cook the gammon the day before as well, because nobody minds cold gammon, or I will heat it up for anybody that wants it hot. That's fine. That's another thing done, and that I find makes things the easiest as possible. Some of my other tips I would say would be to wrap presents early. I never used to do this. I used to leave it till the last minute, and when my 4 children were very little, I used to buy lots and lots of presents for each of them. There was always a lot of presents, so trying to wrap them all on my own was awful and so time consuming. I used to end up with a lot of pain sitting down to do it, and I actually got to a point where I dreaded wrapping up presents. I really did. And I love watching people open presents. You know, I love to give presents. As the kids have got older, there's not as many presents, thankfully. What they tend to ask for is more expensive, so they get less of them, you know, and that's absolutely fine. Sorry, I'm still watching my daughter. Her other friends just arrived. So, you know, it's just a case of giving yourself time, not leaving everything till the last minute. I have started wrapping already. So I did my what I bought my kids for Christmas video, which is also on my channel. So please take a look at that. So after I get everything out and I'd laid it out and I'd done my video, I actually started wrapping up. I think it was the next day. I started wrapping things. I have probably done a third of the wrapping already. And I've boxed it and I've hidden it away. So I am so thankful that that is done. I had a very good friend of mine give me a tip and sent me a link for these lovely bags, like gift bags that look like wrapping paper actually. Really nice, and it's all wrapped up and it's so easy. So I think next year I'm going to try that, now that I'm getting less presents, because I've got quite a stock of Christmas wrapping paper that I've bought. Every year I'd buy a few new ones, and then I still had a bit left from the last year, and I've got this massive collection of wrapping papers now. So I think I'm just going to try and use those up, and then you know, maybe recycle them with someone else. They can use them. So I hate throwing things away. I do like to recycle where I can, and use up things obviously when I can. So I just, going back to what this whole video was about, because obviously I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent now, is don't kill yourselves. Seriously, it's not worth it. What your kids will remember is the vibe, the atmosphere, and probably the food and who was there. They will remember who was there and what you did. They will not necessarily remember presents. Okay, so don't kill yourselves trying to pay for everything. Take it easy. Try and budget. I budget for the whole year. I save up from January and I start buying presents around June, July time. Always looking for sales. I will not get myself into debt for presents. To me, it's not worth it. My children would understand if they can't have certain things, and it wouldn't bother them. I know all children are different, but my kids just want something to open. They want the Christmas tree, they want the family there, and they want roast potatoes and pigs in blankets, you know. And that's all 4 of my kids have the same opinion. You know, when I was little, we used to have so many family members there that we didn't get to see all the time, and that was magical. You know, our dinners were just fantastic. They were the best roast dinners ever. You know, we always used to go back for seconds and thirds because it was just so delicious, you know. And I remember just drinking shandy, very weak shandy mind you, as a child. You know, those are the memories I have. I remember, I think, 3 presents that I got in my childhood that were special to me. I remember those. I don't remember what I got the rest of the Christmases, to be honest. No, I don't really remember. And I think, you know, that it has to go back to it's all about the family. And let's just remember that, you know, please don't overwork yourself to pay for it. Don't use up all the energy that you have trying to do everything when you can ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. And I think that's what we need to remember. I never used to ask for help, ever. I'd be like, I can do it myself, I can do it quick on myself. And that's still the case with the children. I can still do things better and quicker than they can. However, I can't do everything on my own anymore, and I have to remember that. And it's good for them to actually help and do these things anyway. So, you know, ask for help. Don't be afraid to do that, and just try it and enjoy yourselves. You know, at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. And please remember, your best is good enough, and nobody is perfect in this world. So that is basically what I wanted to talk about and wanted to share with you, particularly with Christmas coming up. But this goes all year round. This goes for every situation in life, and this goes for every person in life. Like I said, whether you have children, whether you don't, whether you have a health condition or a disability, or whether you don't, whether you work so many hours in a week and are exhausted or you don't, it's for everyone. This these tips and this help, it's relatable to everybody in some way, shape or form. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you, you know, a little bit of a pep talk and some motivation. And I've actually really enjoyed sort of like having a chat with you. So if you want to put any comments, anything, you know, your own experiences, or whether you agree or disagree with what I said, you know, stick it down in the comments and I'll definitely read and reply. And thank you so much for listening to me talk.